Amici telespettatori del cuore tassellato, vi do il benvenuto alla puntata di stasera, per cui partiremo subito con le due gare del terzo round del Supermotocross 2024, terza prova che si è svolta a San Diego in California, per cui vedremo delle gare fantastiche, ma non voglio anticiparvi niente. Dopodiché ci sarà poi l'intervista con Michele Fantone e poi la chiusura con i saluti. Comunque, intanto partiamo con la 250. Buona visione.
Markov Yamaha. We will see. There he is, bike 26. Here's Shimoda. This is what Ricky said. Keep your eyes on the Japanese rider. He needs a massive turnaround. We're in San Diego on this 50th anniversary evening. 250 main is underway. Watch that inside line, Ryder D. Francisco, RJ Hampshire. It's Hampshire with the whole shot of the lead.
Command start by the number 24 of RJ Hampshire.
Whoa! Marchbanks and down goes Phil Nicoletti.
Wonder what happened there. Probably got jammed up coming up onto that step-up tabletop. After that first corner, maybe someone swung wide.
Levi Kitchen's got up to second ahead of Mitchell Oldenburg. Here comes championship leader Jordan Smith with the purple rims. Bike 31, the championship leader is beginning his chase.
Oh, I thought Oldenburg was going to get by Kitchen there up on the inside. Wasn't able to pull it off. Kitchen got back going. Had showed some urgency there. That would have been a good pass if Oldenburg could have got by because he would have had a clear track in front of him.
Well, remember in the heat,
Hampshire.
Remember in the heat made earlier that Oldenburg was leading until it was red flag. Then at the restart, it was Levi Kitchen who was able to capitalize on that. So here comes Jordan Smith taking that outside line. Smith takes the fight to Oldenburg and gets the position.
What a pass by Jordan Smith, number 31 there on that white Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha. He went to the outside and he was able to kind of go, keep the speed up and double up top. He come up a little short, however, he had more speed and made the pass.
And now Levi Kitchen is going to feel a little bit of the heat from the championship points leader. This is good stuff. Meanwhile, RJ Hampshire on that Rockstar Energy Factory Husqvarna is skipping away. And back comes Oldenburg. Check this out on the Moto Concepts Honda. He didn't want to give it all to the championship leader.
Keep an eye on that corner after the whoops. It's a 90-degree corner. They go over a single. And as they go over that single and go to accelerate, it's extremely ruddy between there. That's where guys are having problems. They're cross-rutting, they're getting sideways, and they don't get a good run there because it's slippery. So keep your eye out right there, guys making mistakes. Some guys capitalizing.
Joe Shimoda, he's playing catch-up. He's playing catch-up because he's down in the bottom of the top 10. He's now trying to work on Ryder D. Francisco. He had a terrible start aboard the factory HRC Honda. Let's check it out. What happened to bike number 30?
Okay, he gets a good job. Oh, he spins sideways. That is great camera work right there. So as he releases the clutch, those metal grates are probably slippery with all the mud and the moisture in the air and the rain from today. And as he goes sideways, it is absolutely over from that part, Will.
So I was with Lars Lindstrom, team manager at Honda HRC, Ricky, and he said all our guys, including Joe, have to get better starts. And I said, what can you do to help with that? And he said, pointed to mapping and things like that and said, look, we can try and stop some of this wheel spin. But you just pointed out right there that wasn't what happened there. So I don't know if you can kind of explain to everybody what they can even try to achieve, what the team can try to achieve for the riders.
Hey, Will, check this out up front. RJ Hampshire has got some serious pressure from Levi Kitchen, who's not feeling great at the moment. He's a little under the weather, but it's not affecting his riding. And Kitchen on his new ride on that Monster Energy Kawasaki for Pro Circuit got third at A1, second in San Francisco. Could he get the lead and the win here? It's on for the front position. Hampshire says not just yet.
I was going to say, watch the whoops right here for a pass by Levi Kitchen. Remember I talked about this 90-degree corner right here. That is a tricky section. It's super ruddy in between all of these ruts right here, and it's catching some guys, I wouldn't say off guard, but... Oh, man, what a battle. Oh! 47, Levi Kitchen. He overjumps the single after the triple jump and gets caught up in some ruts. JT, what do you see?
Well, for RJ Hampshire, I think, and for Levi Kitchen, really, it's so important to stay calm here. Riding frantically in these conditions simply doesn't work. So I know they're in a battle for the lead, and there's so much adrenaline that comes along with that, but you have to be so methodical. Stay in that dry line and just put the jumps together. You don't have to really go so fast as you just have to jump all the rhythm sections.
So he's got some ground to catch up. Meanwhile, there's been a change for third, and that is Garrett Marchbanks has worked his way up there ahead of Nate Thrasher and Jordan Smith. Hampshire loses rhythm, gets a little wonky there, and now he's going to lose ground to Levi Kitchen coming back. Mitchell Oldenburg has slipped back to 6th. Hunter Yoda, Joe Shimoda's grabbed a position he got by Ryder DeFrancisco. But this is where it's at.
Well, a rider, I think for RJ Hampshire, he's got to focus on himself. If he starts to feel the pressure from Levi Kitchen, he can't panic. He has got to be, like I said, from championship standpoint, he's got to see himself on this podium tonight. Keep it upright. If the win isn't there, it's not there, but minimum be on the podium here.
These guys are going to be joined by Marchbanks and Thrasher any moment. Look, they're fighting it at the front. Pressure is on. Here comes Kitchen again. Takes a different line to RJ Hampshire.
Oh!
And down he goes. The Kawasaki rider hits the deck and loses at least one. Now 2 positions. He's back to 4th. Now making 5th. They're rolling by. Oldenburg is the next one. So from 2nd, and potentially the lead to 6th place.
Yeah, that is going to sting. So he went to the outside, and I don't blame him for doing that.
Sets out after Garrett Marchbanks, who's 2.5 seconds up the track.
Yeah, great rebound, though, Race, as far as is concerned with the 57 of Nate Thrasher, and, of course, RJ Hampshire coming back from a bad result last week in San Fran. Now they're in podium position with just 3 minutes left to go in one lap. I love the comeback race.
3 seconds to the good is Garrett Marchbanks. There he is there aboard 26. The Muck-Off FXR Club MX Yamaha. He had 5.5 months off the bike last year due to that wrist injury, which is on his left hand, his clutch hand. But boy, is he strong, and he is back, and so too is Nate Thrasher, Jason.
Well, don't let the first couple of weeks for Nate Thrasher fool you. This guy absolutely knows how to ride the mud. And if you go back to his first wins in Atlanta, one of them was a mud race. And we often wondered, could he win in the dry, because he was so good in the mud. And he's showing it here tonight.
Sure is. And look at this for the lead. Right on cue. Whips by Garrett Marchbanks, and the 57 Yamaha is in the lead.
I told you the lappers were gonna be a problem for Marchbanks, and I believe that's exactly what happened. I don't want to jump on that claim too early, but based on what I saw, that was a relatively easy corner for Garrett Marchbanks. And we look up, and he was jammed up behind a lapper, and Nate Thrasher was right there to pounce when that opportunity arose.
And look, he is almost the full length of the whoops ahead of Marchbanks. It wasn't like it just got by and now they're handlebar to handlebar. Not at all. He has drifted away. Meanwhile, back behind Jordan Smith is Joe Shimoda, Levi Kitchen. They're starting to scrap it out.
Man, you just wonder the what-ifs. If Joe would have gotten a better start.
Oh, yeah.
If Kitchen wouldn't have fell down. That just shows you the parity in this 250 class between these guys. And this isn't, kind of going back to what Jason Thomas was talking about, this isn't a surprise for a guy like Nate Thrasher. He is plenty capable of winning races. He just, he had that wreck at the opening round in Anaheim. And, the rough go at it last weekend. So when you see him up here in the lead, he's done this multiple times. So don't be alarmed by this performance here tonight.
All right, this will help Joe Shimoda a little bit. A top 5, it's not what he wants. He wants to be a championship contender and continue to win races for the factory Honda HRC squad. So he's 5th at the moment, trying to catch Jordan Smith, trying to keep Levi Kitchen at bay. Good ride, another top 10 from Mitchell Oldenburg. Ryder DeFrancisco, Hunter Yoda, and Tony Burden, the French rider, in the top 10 again. That'd be 3 top 10s in a row for the guy who is still learning. Monster Energy AMA Supercross. He's a French Supercross champion, but this scene has been altogether new for him, so he's doing great. Time's almost up, and Thrasher boasts more than a 1 second lead over Garrett Marchbanks and RJ Hampshire. Meanwhile, up the front, this is what it looks like. Coming down to the closing laps of this 250 main here in San Diego.
Yeah, about a lap and a half remaining right here. If you're Garrett Marchbanks, you're going to take some unnecessary risks. You would think for the win. Obviously, you don't want to risk it overly too much to not make that podium. And again, these lappers, as they march up the field, the further they lap up to, I feel that it's harder to get by these guys because they're in a great position racing. So it's going to be something to watch for. Now, Garrett lost a little time here around that triple section, but RJ Hampshire's knocking on the back door also.
And listen, one more lap to go. Who's going to put their name on the list to join the likes of Jet Lawrence, Michael Mosman, Dylan Ferrandis, Adam Cianciarillo, and the list goes on as far as winners.
I like this
the
lead.
250 class here in San Diego.
I like this lead that Thrasher has right here. If he can get behind the two lappers in front of him, he'll be home free. Like I said, if he does.
And what a start to the season for the Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing crew, both for Jordan Smith and for Nate Thrasher. However, here comes Hampshire on Marchbanks. This is close for all three podium positions.
Thrasher right there.
Here comes Hampshire. It's the final lap. Who's going to get it done? Thrasher gets held up a little bit. Marchbanks is not done with yet. And here comes Hampshire with the checkered flag almost in sight. Oh, down goes RJ. Hampshire crashes out of third. Meanwhile, Nate Thrasher wins in San Diego. His first win since Arlington last year. Thrasher victorious for Star Yamaha. Awesome performance. Garrett Marchbanks follows him home for successive podiums.
Wow. 2 wins in a row for Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha team. Huge finish for Garrett Marchbanks. Second place, almost first. He rode fantastic all night long. Jordan Smith slips into third.
2 of the 3 podium spots belong to Star Yamaha riders, and Jordan Smith keeps the red plate. But it's Nate Thrasher's night in San Diego. What a performance, and he had to come from behind to do it. Great ride.
E dopo aver visto la 250 passiamo subito alla fantastica 450, per cui godetevela tutta e poi i commenti li faremo con Michele finita la gara.
Hunter Lawrence aboard the 96, a Supercross and Motocross champion from last year, has had a rough start to his 450 career. He didn't make the main in Anaheim 1, and he sits 15th in the championship standings. What does tonight hold in store for him? And what about his little brother, Jet Lawrence? Got a blinder in the heat race only to come down in the whoops, and then came back with the second fastest lap of his heat. What can he produce here? It's 450 main in San Diego. Time to bring the action. Watch that inside line. Who's got it? Great start by Justin Cooper and Cooper Webb. Webb and Roxon is in there, and so too AP. Plessinger has a look on the inside.
Oh, this is exciting. Plessinger in a perfect spot right here.
Sexton's down with Stewart.
Oh, man, this is going to be huge. Huge points loss for Chase Sexton right here. He has got to get up and get going ASAP. If not, it is game over. They better keep their eyes on number 7 here, though.
You know who everybody should keep their eyes on? Justin Barsha is in the mix. The Troy Lee designed Red Bull Gas rider has rocketed into second behind Ken Roxon.
Well, this is where Kenny Roxon really shines right here early in the races. He is so explosive. Early on, the first, 3 to 5 laps, he will just absolutely sprint, build as big of a gap as possible, and then just maintain.
Ken Roxon leads the way over Justin Barsha, Aaron Plessinger, It's Suzuki, Gas, KTM, and then Yamaha, the star Yamaha man, and Justin Cooper and his teammate Cooper Webb. Then Jason Anderson, Christian Craig off to a decent start, and Dylan Ferrandis. And Chase Sexton, the championship leader, the San Francisco winner, is playing a massive game of catch-up.
Oh.
Eli Tomac is down with Christian Craig.
Oh, his clutch is messed up. It's bent all the way to the top.
Oh, and Cooper's
down.
He was running well in the top 5.
Tough lap for the Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha crew. Oh, man, look at this guy. I told you. And this is, if Barsha or Plessinger wants any shot at this win here tonight, they're going to have to turn it up, because if you give this man a big enough lead, he is so good at managing race leads. They're close. Oh, they're close. I like it. I like it.
And Barsha is feeling a lot better health-wise than what he did last week in San Francisco when he was under the weather. Plessinger is looking threatening, but not so much as Barsha. Barsha and Roczen at the front. And Roczen may feel like this is the one that he was owed from Anaheim 1 when he started the season in such great shape, only to go down in the main event and fought his way back from the high teens to a 10th place finish.
And we got a taste of Kenny, of how well he is riding this year in the heat race back at Anaheim, but going down on the first section there after the start at Anaheim, we haven't gotten to see in a main event what he can do. Certainly know he's capable of these type of rides.
Well, let's take you back and show you the start as these guys sort it out. Plessinger is starting to mount a move on Barsha. Watch that bottom box though. Plessinger has a look over. Plessinger grabs second momentarily from Barsha, but makes it stick. Meanwhile, replay of the start in the top box.
Yeah, well, that was a good pass by Aaron Plessinger. If he didn't make that pass sticky, it would have been horrible for him, because Kenny would just be able to pull away a lot longer. So that was good that Aaron Plessinger stuck with it. That didn't let Barsha get the best of him. Barsha tried to not let him get by, and that was key, in my opinion, for Aaron Plessinger. Watch this, and it's going to be interesting to see how much time he can make up on, if at all, on Ken Roczen right now.
2 seconds. 2 seconds is the margin between Roczen and Plessinger. And we saw that big, familiar smile and the cowboy hat after the heat victory. He's feeling it. He's feeling it not just tonight, but Plessinger is feeling it this year. He had 2 weeks off in the off-season. Sexton is off track. And this is an eventful main for bike number 1. Malcolm Stewart is down again for the second time in this main event. But this guy is perhaps having the time of his 450 life. That's for sure in 2024.
Yeah, he talked about it, about how he's comfortable on this motorcycle, and in the off-season he was able to put in a ton of laps and really just focus on his riding. He didn't have to test the bike all the time, and he could just get down to business and get down to work.
You know what he did in the off-season? He studied a lot of video. He studied a lot of tape about his riding position, his ergonomics. Where were his knees? Where were his toes and heels? Where were his elbows? What was he doing with his body? How could he be more streamlined and more efficient?
Well, I mean, I've been really impressed with Aaron Plessinger, and this isn't out of the ordinary.
Malcolm Stewart has been a rough night. On a night that showed so much promise. He did so well in his heat race. But he went down in kind of similar style to what happened at Anaheim 1. By the way, A2 next week, first Triple Crown of the year. Looking forward to that. Ken Roczen has lost about 1/3 of a second to Aaron Plessinger. Actually make that more than half a second now.
Yeah, I feel like if Aaron Plessinger can get a little bit closer, probably 5 or 6 more bike lengths closer to Ken Roczen, it will be game on. He gets close enough, he can see what Kenny is doing.
Bright green leader lights either side of the front guard for Roczen. Shows the fans here in the stands who's leading, who is out in front. Meanwhile, behind these guys, Cooper Webb sits back in 4th. Then Jason Anderson, Dylan Ferrandis, Jet Lawrence in 7th playing catch-up. Then Noren, Hunter Lawrence, and Dean Wilson in the top 10. JT.
So, Ricky, as you see AP kind of stalking Ken Roczen, what's your level of urgency here? Because I think he's withstood the hardest part of dealing with Ken Roczen is early in the race, that sprint speed that you mentioned. And I'm reminded of a race like the Daytona 500 where Ricky Stenhouse about you just kind of have to hang out and wait around till the end of the race. But AP seems like there's no waiting right now.
No, there's no waiting right here. I think that, for a second there, he wasn't catching Kenny. Now he's reeled up right under the rear tire. So I don't think the urgency is there like it was 2 laps ago, because I think he can manage this now. You can see where Ken is making up time, losing time. I think the biggest thing here is going to be the lappers. They're already coming in. Oh!
Down goes Roczen! Crashes out of the lead! Gives the lead to Aaron Plessinger!
Oh, he's going to have to put it in neutral. He's going to crank the bike. Oh, this is going to hurt. We get on him. He gets a lot of flack online about kickstart Kenny, but he gets it going. 2 or 3 cranks. He did lose some time because of it. Watch what happens right here. He's going to go to the outside, keep that speed up, and as he does that, look, it looks like he cross-rutted. What I mean by that is his front wheel didn't seem like it was in the same rut as his rear wheel. He goes sideways just a skosh, boom, and he goes down.
Well, this guy knows what it's like to be in the lead of a 450 main and go down and see a win evaporate. So maybe, just maybe, the racing gods are looking down on Aaron Plessinger here in Southern California tonight. Meanwhile, here's Red Bull KTM teammate Chase Sexton way back in the pack, and he is fighting over 14th place with Eli Tomac. Gets that from the 2-time Supercross champ, and now makes his way through a lot of traffic. Is starting to work on Shane McElrath, and then Jorge Prado, the MXGP World Champ, in his final Supercross ride before he heads back to Europe tomorrow.
All these passes that Chase Sexton is able to make right now is just money in the bank for him as far as points go down the line. As silly as it sounds, at this point in the series, it makes a huge impact the later that you get down the stretch.
Plessinger led 20 of the 22 laps in Detroit last year, only to be trackside and see the win go away, and Roczen's had to come into the mechanics area briefly and then get back at it. Almost halfway through this main event with Aaron Plessinger 7+ seconds in the lead.
Yeah, this is right in his wheelhouse right here. You just look how comfortable he is. Never really saw much urgency. Didn't push it. Looked totally comfortable. Hey, remember we talked about this earlier today on Race Day Live, Lee, about what we had to see for Cooper Webb, and did he need to go win to show us that he's for real and he is still a contender? What I said was no. I said I don't think he needs to win, but I need to see something that proves to us that he still has what it takes by speed. And this is one of those rides that I am seeing.
All right, so keep your eye on the number in the top left of your screen. 7.2 seconds. We'll follow that story. Meanwhile, Supercross Beyond the Gate is an exclusive behind-the-scenes series that will continue across all 31 events this year to give you, the fans, an inside look into the Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing team. New episodes every week on the Yamaha Motor USA YouTube channel, worth the watch. Can't stress enough, keep your eye top left. Does that number change? Does it get less? It gets less. Cooper Webb has taken 0.7 of a second out of Aaron Plessinger.
We got a lot of racing left, and like I talked about, these lappers are going to be an issue, especially the further that they get up the pack. Because these guys that they are getting up the pack and lapping, they're fighting for a good position and points.
So we're over the halfway mark. Need to remind you to stop by your local Ralph's, where Monster Energy drinks are available and on sale right now. 5.9 seconds the difference.
Aaron Plessinger, he can't sleep right now. Dude, he has got to sprint. He has got to go, because if he doesn't, Cooper Webb is going to be all up in his business.
What's the old saying? Effort equals result. The last rider on the track yesterday, the last rider and the last factory rider on the track yesterday. Bike number 2, Cooper Webb. was putting in the extra effort yesterday, and it was media day. Whatever laps he could get, he was going to take, and he was going to put in, so he was ready for tonight to take the fight to this guy.
Yeah, that was a big group of lappers that he just got by Aaron Plessinger right there. 4 or 5 really good riders, so this is going to help him. Now he'll have a clear track and maybe be able to gap Webb.
So he gets by Tomac. Wow, last week we saw Jet Lawrence get lapped. This week it's Eli Tomac. How crazy is this season so far?
An absolute roller coaster.
Here's Cooper Webb. Is that work ethic going to pay off tonight with a victory well?
What a difference a week makes, right? When we look back and we saw him in the mud there last weekend in San Francisco, team manager Jeremy Coker told me that Webb was quoted as saying, I felt like a mechanic out there without a toolbox. And what he meant by that was he said I can't go any faster, I can't go any slower, I'm just kind of doing what I'm doing. So what I'm seeing here, Ricky, I don't know if you're seeing it, I mean, this is some redemption for what he couldn't get done last weekend and what he wants to show everybody that he can get done this weekend.
Well, and he robbed himself of a podium position at minimum, at least a second place, third place at A1. So that was on him, and he'd tell you that. Last weekend, I think he forgot how to ride in the mud, and this is, to your point, yeah, this is redemption. I feel for the last 2 weeks. I mean, he's got a point to prove, and he's been outspoken. I like what I'm seeing from Aaron. He's able to keep this 4 to 5 second lead at bay with only 3 minutes left to go with 1 lap. And it's going to be tough for Cooper Webb right here.
And if positions stay as they are, Ricky, it's a Red Bull KTM 1-2. Plessinger would have the red plate over his teammate Chase Sexton. How about that?
That would be something. But I just keep going back. You know, Aaron Plessinger has earned this right where he is at right now. He's just he's been great all season long. He's stuck with it. He's had some rough years and jumping into this premier class. So to be able to see him stick with it, finally believe in himself, and know that he could be the guy that he was when he was in the 250 division, just winning all those races and championships. It's great to see.
And I want to go back maybe 3 seasons ago when he was at Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing, and he said, hey, I've changed a few things. I can tell you that this year the old AP is back, and it's been a 3-year journey, and here he is.
Yeah.
Here is a championship winning rider. This is good stuff.
Oh, Jet got him.
Lower box.
He was all over him for so long, all over Jason Anderson, and had to force it right there. There's Kenny. He's unlapping himself, I believe. Yeah.
Trying to get his way back. What a shame for Ken Roxon.
Well, not unlapping himself, but
not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Trying to get by guys, but I appreciate Kenny out here giving it 110%, even though he's a lap down, still out there fighting.
What a well-constructed race. What a well-managed race. And just very heads-up, observant, attentive, and attention to detail by Aaron Plessinger in not easy conditions. And he hasn't been in front the entire way. And he's had challenges from different people. And there he is coming up on his teammate, about to lap the champ.
Cooper.
And here is Cooper Webb back on the scene. Now can Sexton help his teammate out here a little? This is not done yet. Less than a minute plus a lap to go.
Pressure's on right now, Lee. Aaron knows that the win is just ahead of him with 2 laps to go.
Takes the inside line around Freddie Noren, outside Noren. Does he go inside? Yes, he does. Sexton knew he was there. All right, time still on the clock. And Webb is coming.
AP, you got to keep going. He's doing well. He's so close, but there's Cooper.
Oh, Sexton and Webb come together.
Oh, Chase just absolutely ruined Cooper Webb.
Webb's by.
That is such a bummer for Cooper Webb. If we get a replay of that, it would be great to see.
So this is not done yet, folks. This is not over. Cooper Webb's challenge isn't over. Inside 2 laps, Next time by, Aaron Plessinger will see the white flag and be within 1 lap of victory. It would be his first in his 450 career. Remember, he got within a couple of laps in Detroit last year. 1 to go. 1 lap to go for Plessinger. He's got time on his side. He's got a buffer back to Webb now.
I love it. That is plenty enough of a lead right now. Look forward. Make sure you hit all these ruts perfectly straight. And you are going to get it, my man. Leader lights on the forks, that green light, signifying he is the leader with 1 to go. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you are watching this race, you are going to want to listen to this man on the podium.
This will be the first time that Aaron Plessinger not only wins a 450 main, it'll be the first time in his career that he holds the red plate. And you want to talk about a crowd favorite? You want to talk about a guy who gives the fans as much as the fans give him? He's already fist pumping. He's already thrilling. And Aaron Plessinger, you're a race winner. The cowboy rides high in California. Finally, AP has done it.
E come anticipatovi, sono qua in compagnia di Michele Fanton per commentare il terzo round del Supermotocross che si è svolto a San Diego, in California, con gare bellissime sia della 250 che della 450 su una pista altrettanto difficile come lo è stata a San Francisco. Ciao Michele.
Ciao Adriano, ciao a tutti. Ciao.
E niente, che cosa hai visto di bello nella 250, a parte i primi 3 con le Yamaha, per cui hanno riempito il podio, tutti dello stesso team, per cui...
Quello che ho visto, naturalmente le condizioni della pista erano abbastanza inusuali, anomale e abbastanza impegnative per il fatto che è caduta la pioggia, poi fortunatamente per le main events ha smesso di piovere. La pista naturalmente era impegnativissima, non come il weekend scorso, però comunque con grandissimi canali, e per cui ha messo a dura prova ancora una volta tutti i piloti.
Team, gomme, meccanica in
assetti.
generale, per cui non è stato semplice.
Assolutamente è stato semplice, per cui diciamo che il campionato è partito, però diciamo che i valori effettivi in campo spero che li potremo vedere già dal weekend prossimo, perché poi con le piste chiamiamole così asciutte, vedremo effettivamente se quello che hanno fatto fino adesso erano degli exploit o effettivamente i ragazzi veramente stanno meritando le posizioni che hanno conseguito in questi due.
Sono trovati tutti un po' in difficoltà, ovviamente. Abbiamo visto Sexton, anche lui, Jet Lawrence, e poi tutti gli altri, insomma, hanno fatto veramente fatica. Comunque, grande gara, ma ne parleremo dopo. Adesso rimaniamo un attimino sulla 250 perché è stata bella anche questa, con ricca di colpi di scena. 3 Yamaha nei primi 3 posti, insomma, la dice lunga. Un Joe Shimoda che arriva quarto e non soddisfa e non convince. Tu cosa dici?
Non soddisfa, non convince, diciamo, il suo team, ma anche se stesso. Però ribadisco, come avevo detto anche il weekend scorso, che comunque Shimoda dovremmo dargli ancora un'altra possibilità di riscatto il prossimo sabato, perché comunque è partito un po' male ancora di nuovo, ha rimontato e comunque ha fatto sì un quarto posto, però
E non
proprio
è da buttare via, eh.
è a ridosso di primi, non è che ha preso mezza pista o un giro, per cui
Sì.
diciamo che il valore in campo è ancora ben consistente. Staremo a vedere dalle prossime gare quando si correrà su terreni, diciamo, meno ostili.
Più consistenti e meno
Eh,
scivolosi, diciamo così,
ass-
scivolosi mi sembra ancora
eh,
poco. Per cui vediamo al primo posto Nate Thrasher con la Yamaha, come detto prima, Garrett Marchbanks, che anche lui ha fatto una gara veramente strepitosa, ha sbagliato qualcosina nel finale, e Gordon Smith che si conferma comunque al terzo posto, per cui gran bella gara. Yoshimoda quarto, Levi Kitchen quinto, ci si aspettava anche da parte sua una gara un pochettino diversa, ma così è andata, per cui
sì.
arriva al quinto posto. Allora, io la 250 la chiuderei qua, devo essere sincero, a meno che tu non abbia qualcosa da aggiungere su piloti,
Ah,
moto e quant'altro, ma la
no, no, beh,
450 è
volevo
quella.
solo fare un piccolo appunto su
Sì,
Hampshire, che la prima gara ha fatto il primo incredibile e anche in queste due ultime gare ha commesso degli errori perché comunque stava lottando per le prime posizioni, però diciamo che sul fango non è il suo terreno ideale. Per cui
sembra che
lo
stiano tutti
terrei un po' in
imparando.
sospeso, lo terrei un po' in sospeso.
Pensi che stiano tutti imparando qualcosa da queste prime due gare?
Assolutamente, perché gli americani il fango lo vedono col binocolo dalla
Eh,
finestra di casa, non certo in moto, per cui diciamo che sono tutte situazioni, chiamiamole tra parentesi, abbastanza nuove per loro.
sì, anche perché le abbiamo viste, le gare sono già andate in onda, per cui noi commentiamo alla fine, per cui vi siete fatti un'idea di quello che è successo. 4:50, partenza. Pronti via?
Pronti via, subito di nuovo il nostro grande amico Roxe. Dimostrato di essere, diciamo, da quel punto di vista molto a punto. Però purtroppo, è brutto ribadirlo, ha commesso un errore in una fase cruciale dell'hit, perché della finale, perché poteva lottare con Plessiger per la vittoria, però evidentemente la pressione che gli ha dato Plessiger il giro precedente gli ha fatto commettere quell'errore dove è caduto, ha avuto difficoltà a riaccendere la moto e dopo addirittura si è dovuto fermare al parco meccanici per raddrizzare il manubrio alla ruota che era fuori asse con la forcella. Per cui un'altra battuta negativa per Ken, dove io sinceramente quest'anno lo vedevo lì tra i primi.
Sì,
È nota
in effetti è tra
positivissima
i primi, solamente che non riesce
a
a
concretizzare.
concludere come vorrebbe, perché lui vorrebbe la vittoria a questo punto, cioè è
Quello
inutile.
assolutamente. Cosa molto positiva e che mi ha fatto veramente no, felice di più è Plessinger che ha vinto finalmente questa sua prima
Sì,
finale nel 4,5.
sì,
Se
anche
l'è
perché
meritata tutta.
c'è campione della 250, per cui è uno che sa vincere, sa guidare, è un pilota velocissimo, in molti se lo aspettavano. Ed è giusto che sia così anche perché è un personaggio infinito, simpatico, sempre disponibile, veramente bello come persona e come pilota.
Assolutamente, anche perché va fuori un po' dagli schemi dei classici piloti, chiamiamoli tra parentesi normali. Lui veramente è estroso,
Il
fa-
cowboy di Tour, è un
sì.
cowboy
E poi è estroso in modo bello e comunque
educato.
coinvolgente, perché comunque ci vogliono dei personaggi così, perché ravvivono l'ambiente e creano qualcosa di diverso che è ben accetto
Creano
soprattutto.
anche un po' di tifo tra gli appassionati, no? C'è chi tiene Plessinger, c'è chi tiene Roxen, cioè si creano anche dei piccoli conflitti tra un pilota e l'altro, non tanto tra i piloti quanto tra gli appassionati.
A
Cosa
parte di
dire? Da
conflitti.
KTM comunque hanno fatto un bel salto in avanti.
Quatti quatti loro si trovano due piloti, primo e secondo nella classifica del campionato. secondo me, se l'inizio dell'anno...
Passano la tabella rossa l'uno con l'altro.
No, beh, comunque ribadisco, sono iper felice per Plessing perché se l'è meritata tutta e finalmente comunque si è presa questa vittoria che se la meritava già dall'anno scorso che a pochi giri dalla fine era caduto e ha compromesso,
L'abbiamo
diciamo.
chiesto. Però bellissima l'esplosione del pubblico già a 2 giri dalla fine, quando ha visto che ormai mica tanto perché Cooper Webb stava recuperando velocità supersonica, ha commesso un errore lui, poi c'è stato, bah, non saprei come descriverlo, il rientro con Sexton. Tu come l'hai vista?
Sì, diciamo che involontariamente o volontariamente è difficile da riuscire a capire la situazione. Certo che Sexton lì evidentemente si è trovato dentro il canale, ha visto il suo compagno di squadra che stava vincendo, Cooper Webb che stava recuperando, gli ha fatto perdere quell'1-2 secondi che comunque gli hanno permesso di vincere tranquillamente.
Sì.
Non so se comunque Cooper Webb, anche senza diciamo il piccolo freno che ha fatto Sesto, se sarebbe riuscito a superare il Plessing, perché
Il
comunque erano
Messinger
due
mi sembrava
slitte.
inarrivabile a quel punto, gestiva la gara ed era soprattutto spaventato nel commettere un piccolo errore che gli poteva compromettere poi la vittoria finale.
Assolutamente, poi siamo all'inizio del campionato e credo che per una posizione Cooper Webb, visto che è un veterano
Sì.
Supercross, veterano tra parentesi perché è ancora giovane, ha fatto i suoi conti, il secondo posto più che bene per la classifica e
E
in
comunque è
confronto
veramente un mastino Cooper Webb.
lui
Tutti lo
c'è.
davano finito già l'anno scorso con i problemi che ha avuto in KTM. Quest'anno lo rivediamo guidare alla Cooper Webb.
Sì.
Comunque, bravissimo anche lui. Justin Barsha, che ha fatto una gara onorevolissima, però chiaramente su una pista così o hai qualcosa in più da poter dare a livello di trazione, a livello di sezioni ritmiche o che altro, se no è giusto la posizione che ha tenuto.
Ma, ribadisco, la settimana scorsa aveva dei problemi fisici perché l'ha ribadito che era stato poco bene, perché a memoria e comunque Bassi nel fango ha sempre dimostrato qualcosa in più dei suoi avversari e appunto sabato, stando un po' meglio, ha fatto vedere che comunque in questi tipi di terreni lui è competitivo e ha fatto un bellissimo terzo posto perché comunque senza rubare niente a nessuno, è partito bene, però ha mantenuto il ritmo, non ha fatto errori e ha portato a casa un bel podio. Bravo Bassi.
Bravissimo. Jet Lawrence, quarto. Cosa dire?
Ma,
Fase di
dire-
apprendimento, ha sbagliato un pochettino meno, insomma, il suo quarto posto vuol dire non perdere tantissimi punti in campionato, essere lì dovrà resettare un pochettino il pensiero per affrontare poi la prossima gara.
Sì, sì, no, ma io l'ho visto sinceramente, l'ho visto bene, perché se avrete notato, parlo con gli ascoltatori, all'ingresso della prima curva lui ha curvato praticamente ultimo, perché è stato chiuso da Barsia proprio a metà rettilineo, la partenza è arrivato in fondo al piazzale, era praticamente ultimo. Questo magari è stata anche un po' la fortuna, perché poi nel tafferuglio dei primi metri di pista c'è
È
stato
tolto via dai guai senza saperlo.
Esatto, perché Sexton e Stewart sono caduti subito, perché Stewart, secondo me, anche lui nelle manche, nelle hit aveva fatto un bel secondo posto, sudato dietro a Tomac, per cui insomma Stewart anche lui andava bene. Però quando cadi subito all'inizio così ti riempi le mani di fango, ti appesantisci e hai difficoltà a recuperare. Comunque Jet ha fatto un bel recupero senza commettere degli errori come invece aveva fatto la settimana scorsa, ha fatto un bel quarto posto, punti importanti in classifica perché poi dopo vedremo la classifica, sono tutti molto ravvicinati per cui il campionato è molto combattuto a tempo.
Eh sì. Jason Anderson, quinto, Kawasaki.
Jason Anderson, che poi sicuramente le immagini andranno a vedere, ha avuto un po' un battibecco poi anche con Jet Lawrence alla fine, perché evidentemente ci sono stati un po' di malumori durante la manche che Jet aveva provato in diverse curve a superarlo. Giustamente Anderson chiudeva la traiettoria, ma evidentemente Jet non aveva gradito molto sto
Sì,
solo
anche perché poi i piloti riescono probabilmente a capire anche se l'avversario ha un passo superiore al tuo. Molte volte è dannoso cercare di superare a tutti i costi quello che hai davanti e molte volte sarebbe buona cosa, ma è difficile dirlo, poi è ancora più difficile a farlo, quello di rimanere dietro e cercare di sfruttare la velocità di chi hai davanti. Questo è il mio pensiero.
Ma, Dio, dai, sai, quando si è a una gara di questo livello, arrivi dietro a un avversario abbastanza facilmente, la prima tua idea è quello di cercare in tutti i modi di stargli davanti, di superarlo, anche perché Jet poi ha dimostrato che aveva un qualcosina in più. E comunque ha avuto difficoltà, infatti in più di qualche curva Anderson l'ha chiuso abbastanza in maniera, non dico pesante, però
Capire che era sufficiente così.
assolutamente. E poi ho visto delle immagini che quando sono arrivati, Jet ha avuto qualcosa da dire ad Anderson, si sono un po' così battibeccati un po', però dopo mi sembra che le cose si siano pianate abbastanza.
Meno
Jet
male.
si è scusato con Anderson del suo atteggiamento.
Poi parleremo di un fatto tecnico di cui parlerò in modo approfondito poi settimana prossima. Sesto posto di Dylan Ferrandis che rimane costantemente nei primi 5, nei primi 10.
Vabbè, Dylan, come avevi ribadito tu all'inizio del campionato, con questa Honda, secondo me ha ritrovato stimoli, ha tirato voglia, e vuole dimostrare di nuovo che comunque non era un pilota finito. Lo sta dimostrando con questi buoni risultati, anche perché la classifica è molto corta
Sì.
e lui
Siamo
fa
solo
parte
alla
dei
terza
piloti.
gara, per cui
Come?
siamo solo alla terza gara con questi cambiamenti di piloti vittoriosi, sono tutti lì proprio.
No, no, comunque Dylan, un'altra prova d'orgoglio, un'altra prova molto positiva e punti che porta a casa importantissimi per la classifica.
Sì.
Bravo.
Il fratellone di Jet, Hunter, è arrivato settimo, ma anche lui lo vedo un pochettino in difficoltà.
In questi terreni anche lui soffre, non esprime il suo potenziale. Direi che dovremmo aspettare ancora 2 o 3 garette per dare un giudizio su quello che può essere il potenziale di questo ragazzo, perché comunque l'anno scorso ha fatto vedere cose egregie, non è a livello del fratello, questo lo ribadiamo, e questo è abbastanza.
Molti invece dicono che a livello di guida è meglio Hunter.
Ma questo è il mio
Non so,
pensiero
queste qua sono
personale.
voci che raccolgo poi
Eh.
in giro. Ecco.
Questo è il mio pensiero personale. Secondo me il fratello, non sto dicendo che non vada forte, anzi, assolutamente, però credo che il fratello più giovane, tecnicamente, ma anche come mentalità e modo di affrontare le gare, abbia qualcosina di più.
Sì.
Comunque speriamo che invece nelle prossime gare staremo qua a commentare che è il contrario. Lo spero molto.
Come sempre diciamo anche tra di noi, in amicizia vinca il migliore, vinca il più veloce
Assolutamente.
e quant'altro. Per cui la classifica è Aaron Plessinger alla tabella rossa, per cui chissà che festone avrà fatto. Chase Sexton secondo e Jet Lawrence terzo, per cui c'è tanto ancora da vedere e da commentare. No, ti anticipavo una cosa perché sta arrivando sempre di più tecnologia elettronica dalle MotoGP alle moto da cross.
Sì,
Per
sì, beh,
cui
questo.
ho visto dei particolari sulla Kawasaki di Henderson che quando l'ho vista ho detto, boh, ahia, stiamo andando veramente a livelli. Ma commenterò la prossima volta che porterò le fotografie e spiegherò che cos'è quel bagaglio che ha sulla moto e a che cosa serve. Comunque cosa incredibile, veramente stanno lavorando tanto, anche perché tutto questo vuol dire che le case sono veramente impegnate in questo campionato. Pubblico ce n'era quasi 43.000 perché nello stadio ne tiene 41.000 e 500 circa, per cui anche lì pienone con il brutto tempo, mi piace sottolineare.
Un sold out anche questa gara.
Eh sì, poi non so se hai visto la presentazione della nuova Honda,
No, non ho ancora avuto modo
non l'hai vista?
di
No, era
apprezzare.
quella col marchio Ducati, no, questa qua è una battuta, dai. Sono
Eh,
veramente cattivo.
Sono stato un po' al gioco.
Sono un
E
po' cattivo perché Ducati è dentro il mio cuore per ovvi motivi, per motivi, per i trascorsi che ho avuto nella velocità e quant'altro, per cui la porto nel cuore. Però sono rimasto un po' così quando ho visto la moto definitiva.
un po' basito. Beh,
E
cosa
là,
dire?
poi
Io
andrà fortissimo, di questo non ho dubbi, però bah, un qualcosa di diverso magari.
Il mio pensiero personale è il fatto che comunque una casa come la Ducati e si vuole presentare dentro al cancelletto in un campionato comunque importantissimo senza avere un briciolo di esperienza nel settore del fuoristrada. Naturalmente si è guardato intorno e ha cercato di vedere quella che secondo loro era la moto più competitiva e da lì hanno cercato di trarre, di fare
No, ma
qualcosa
quello
appunto
lì,
di
chiaramente,
simile,
tutte le
però
case.
raccogliere le cose migliori, ecco.
Bene,
Però
per cui speriamo che Ducati porti la bandiera italiana sul pennone più alto del podio. Intanto noi ci salutiamo. Abbiamo visto delle gare bellissime anche questa volta. Mi raccomando, seguiteci anche sui nostri canali social, oltre che in televisione, ovviamente www.motocrossmypassion.it e Motocross My Passion TV per quanto riguarda il canale YouTube. Io e Michele ormai siamo una coppia, allora una coppia nel senso televisiva e
diciamo
basta.
perché sai,
Infatti facciamo a distanza le interviste.
mancherebbe
Intanto
scherzo.
ti ringrazio Michele e ci vediamo sicuramente settimana prossima e speriamo di vedere sempre gare combattutissime come abbiamo visto fino ad oggi. Intanto ti saluto, saluta gli amici a casa che ci seguono.
Io ti ringrazio Adriano, un grosso salutone a tutti i nostri telespettatori, i nostri affezionados, come si suol dire, cercate di fare dei passaparola, di far capire che questo programma è importante e comunque parla di grande motocross a 360 gradi. Ciao.
Per cui avanti tutta, Motocross My Passion c'è, Michele Fanton c'è. Ciao!
Ciao.
E siamo arrivati a fine puntata, spero che vi sia piaciuta, mi raccomando seguiteci il più possibile, fate il passaparola che ci serve tantissimo per far crescere sia il canale e sia gli appassionati che non sono proprio appassionati di motocross, ma che si avvicinano a questo meraviglioso sport. Per cui io caramente vi saluto e ci diamo appuntamento alla settimana prossima. Ciao a tutti.